Alright, so in this video we're gonna take a look at the transform tools and how we can use them. So let's start by creating a primitive. Let's create a box here. Okay. And now when I go to the transform, you see I have these tabs. And if you haven't noticed already, I have this tab, the transform and select, and I have a separator here. And if you click in the other tabs, you can see that I already have this. These ones are unique to the create tab, and this one is shared across different tabs. Transform and select. Even I go to polygroups, I have another one here. If I go to triangles, I also have a transform and select. And now when we go to transform, this is one of the most useful ones for making meshes. And the reason is you can edit the pivot point and make that transform. So let's take a look at what this is. So you can see here I have my location and scale, and sometimes you want the object to change the scale. So if I change this mesh and let's say I scale it uniformly like this, all right, so now what I have is this scale that is totally different, but I want this to be my new object. And the problem with this is that if I go to this one, then I go back to the original scale of the object. So what I need to do is just go to click here, click on bake X form, and you can see that we have very short settings here. Just leave it like this, click on accept, and look what this will do. This will change the scale to 111, and also the rotation. If I scale the rotation just like this and change the rotation like this, bake transform, accept, you can see that my rotation is also on 0, 0, 0, and the scale also is 1. And notice that my location doesn't change because this one doesn't affect the location. So this is what the bake transform do. So the other one, very important one, is the edit pivot point. So if I want to edit the pivot point, I can go to the center, I can go to the bottom, I can also move it to anywhere I want. I can go to the top, to the back, left, and you notice that how messed up this one is, and the reason is we have baked our transform and rotated. So let's create another one. Let's put a cylinder in it this time and go to transform, edit pivot point, and now you can see top, front, back, right, center. And this is how you can change the pivot point. So if you want it in the center, then now it will rotate like this. And if you go back here, you can see my pivot point has changed, is now in the center. So if I edit the pivot point and now I put it in the bottom, accept, they go back to my cylinder here, you can see my pivot point has changed. And this is very, very, very useful. So the other thing we're gonna do is to do the align. So we're gonna create a new box here, and we are gonna align the two of those. So we have these two primitive. So if I click on this one and then click on this one, you will see I have two new options. I have the align tool and the combine tool. And the align tool will basically align between the bounding box. So here you can see if you want to align by bounding pops or by pivot points, and you can combine, or you can only align the first selected or the last selected, and where you want it, to the center, to the top, to the bottom. And if you want it on C, Y, and X, you can also align to the top, to the center, to the right, to the left, and so on and so on. And you will see how this one will affect. You can also change the first selected, so your cylinder will change now. So, or you can combine them, and you can mix between the two and have an average, and you can put the bottom here. And let's just say I want to keep this, so I will scale this one down, and what I will do is combine them into a new mesh. So if I click on this one and then click on this one, I can click on combine, and I have a few options here. I can create a new asset, and if I do that, then I will delete the source, but I still keep my original mesh here I had before. So this is one thing to notice. And let's combine these two. So if I combine these two, you can also change the first input asset, which is the first one you click. If I click on this one and then click on this one and click on combine, then basically it will modify this asset and it will combine them. So if I click on this one, you can see my asset is the same, but now it's combined with the other one. Let's change the order now. What if I click on this one and then on this one and then click combine? If I click accept, now my pivot point is here because this one was my previous cylinder. So let's just say I want to keep this. And the other thing I can do is just edit the pivot point. And I can put it in the center, in the bottom, and I can just move it around here. So this is how you can use the transform node. You can edit the pivot point. You can bake the transform here. You can combine objects, and you can also duplicate this one into a new asset. And you can keep the sources, and you can change the name like cylinder 2. And when I go here, I have my same name here, and I have cylinder 2 and another code here. So if I go here, this is my duplicated asset. You can also duplicate here, of course, but it's a handy tool to have here. Alright, last but not least, you have the inspector here. You can also have it in other tabs, so we'll take a look at it later. So if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button to see more videos of this kind. If you like it, you can also share with your friends, and check our links for download some free products to help you in your game development journey. And I'll see you in the next one.